Friends and family, I'd like you to check out blackcommunityspeak.com. Now, blackcommunityspeak.com is a forum-based website, so something that's very simple, where you can get on, you can get off, get involved with a lot of topics. Now, Black Community Speaks is a place that's for black men and women to talk about issues that's affecting the entire community. So on blackcommunityspeak.com, they talk about topics in the range of news, what's going on in society, relationships, technology, business, food and recipes, gaming, health and fitness, music, and many, many more. On Black Community Speak, it's a place where you can be safe to say what you want to say without the fear of big tech censorship. So make sure you head on over to blackcommunityspeak.com and sign up today. So recently, they had the G7 summit, which most of the G7 countries are European, okay? This is not a group that includes everybody, right? There's no African nations, no Latin American nations. No, it's not everybody. It's not that. It's an all white affair minus Japan. Japan is the only country that's in there. You see in the G7, it'd be Canada and the US and France and Germany and the UK and a few others, right? So the reason why I'm talking about them, they do this all the time, is what came up at the G7. Now they were talking about China. Now the United States is very threatened by China because China is on their heels trying to become a superpower. And with the coronavirus pandemic, and now they're talking about, the origins of that now, and, trying to say it, in a way that we won't have no problems with YouTube. You know how that goes. But what they were discussing is how to counter China and their moves in all these other countries. Now, China has a Belt and Road Initiative where they're connecting with more than 100 countries to end up benefiting China. They say, look, we'll do some infrastructure projects for you guys. In turn, let's get access to different resources in your country, okay? Now, the reason why a lot of the African countries start dealing with China, as I was told in Ethiopia, is because China will do business with you and give you money or whatever, and they don't get involved in your politics, versus, he said, the U.S. and the British and all of them, when they give you money, they want to start telling you what to do. So that's why they say, nah, we good. We rather get it from the Chinese. That's really how a lot of that got started. Now, they're talking about how Washington is upping its rhetoric against China, talking about human rights abuses. Now, Washington need to be quiet because all the human rights abuses you do to black people, but continuing. So they have a new scheme now they coming up with called the Green Belt Initiative. My God. Y'all are some of the most unoriginal people ever. Seriously? Why do y'all always come up with something that somebody else had done? My God. So they say the countries will form a partnership on green investment for developing countries. They say for which the UK government said they will offer them a democratic alternative to China. Okay. So they say sources say the plan, also called Build Back Better for the World, they say after Biden's election slogan, will finance everything from railways in Africa to wind farms in Asia by giving developing countries access to better and faster finance. They say while accelerating the global shift, they say, to renewable energy and sustainable technology. So they said it means giving countries an alternative to a totalitarian paid master. And I say behind the scenes at the summit, they said Biden was urging the rest of the G7 countries to speak out in a single voice, I said, by including criticism of the Chinese human rights abuses such as forced labor of the Uyghur Muslims and other ethnic minorities in a joint session that they had. So the reason why I want to discuss this, a few reasons. Now they're getting together. We're talking about the Western world getting together, and now they're talking about going to do a bunch of infrastructure and investments in the African continent to compete with China. It all leads back to Africa, folks. Now, why isn't Biden investing into the black communities in America? Why isn't he doing that? But he wants to go invest into African nations? It's a simple question. I mean, seriously. You notice that they're willing to give African nations something, but not black Americans anything. You know, because they hate us, but they get a benefit out of the African continent. And the only reason they go in to do it is because China. Oh, they're seeing China in there, and they say, oh, we got to get in there and get them resources. And so the battle always going to end up being Africa, okay? Why? Resources. China don't have resources like the African continent do. The Western world don't have the resources the African continent do. So that's why they all trying to flood in another rush for Africa. Now, let's talk about our brothers and sisters here. You know, do you see these Western powers in China and all these different ones trying to run themselves to Africa for something? And you don't even want to go for no reason. You don't want to get established over there for no reason, but yet these big countries want to go run over there. Please help me with that logic. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's a no-brainer. You better get in there before they build up the infrastructure so much and it get expensive for you. Because that's what's going to end up happening. As they start building up infrastructure, it's going to start getting expensive. Now, they're not doing it to help the people, obviously, but the people will benefit from it. Actually, I think that's going to be, even though it's bad, it may be a good thing for the African continent too. Because if you got China and the U.S. and all these Western powers competing to building up the infrastructure, show like, hey, side with us. We're better. Look what we're doing for you. And the Chinese say, hey, we're better for you. Look what we're doing. You get what I'm saying? It may be just a win-win after all, and using all their money to build up the African continent. You understand what I'm saying? That may not be a bad thing, but at the end of the day, we know they're not doing it because of they want to just help, because they, done all the pillaging, especially the Western world, pillaging of the continent of Africa. They're doing it because they're afraid of China overtaking them. So they're trying to get in there and say, hey, African nations, we your friend. No, you're not their friend. Remember, African nations, when you see these Mzungus coming in, they colonized you. The British, they colonized you. The Portuguese, they colonized you. Spain, they did all that. Italy, these different groups of people came in and colonized you. You should always look at them with a side eye and say, you gonna help me when you colonize my people? Like, come on. If you want to help, take them sanctions off of Zimbabwe. That's the first thing you can do. What are you talking about? You want to come help? Help for what? You're only doing it because you're scared China gonna have a foothold. But at the end of the day, that's always what the battle's going to be. The battle's going to be for Africa. It's never going to be for nothing else. All these other countries that walk around acting like they're superior to other people, they ain't got crap going on in their countries. They got to be in the African continent. So those of you that feel, I don't want to be over there, I don't want to connect with them, I don't want to do it. Well, you know what? Like I said, why is it that your government and all these other Western governments and China and all the other ones, why they keep going over there then? Why? Well, I guess you know more, I guess, right? Well, I did this here. I did man, this place is going down. You better get connected to a place that got some resources. But leave me a comment that was thinking about the situation over with these G7 countries and want to battle with China over Africa. That's always have been and is always going to be. It's a battle for Africa.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stretch the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand or 10,000 Kenyan shillings or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store.